Hello, I am Zijian Guo, and today we are doing a movie character diagnosis on Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. And would you look at that? We have a gorgeous young man named Patrick Bateman, who is a son of a successful businessman or banker in New York. He is well educated, gentle on the outside, living in a luxurious apartment, and uh, and what's just the basically the American dream. However, at night he becomes a serial killer who has murdered many people through various methods. The film is set in New York during Reagan's Regency presidency and before the stock market crash in the mid to late 80s. The characters are all society's elites who have all displayed narcissistic tendencies and didn't have much empathy for others. But Bateman displays this even more than the rest, leading to the diagnosis as follows. Well, of course, he displayed more narcissistic tendencies, but there are also more. So part one of the diagnosis, the main character Patrick Bateman demonstrates narcissism, antisocial personality disorder, OCD, and schizophrenia. Considering the movie setting, it is likely that if he went to a therapist, he will be diagnosed with all of the above, but narcissism, as similar tendencies are seen among his peers. And despite the severity and obviousness of Bateman's symptoms, these disorders will not be properly diagnosed in many cultures. For example, in the Chinese culture, such actions will be broadly classified under the umbrella terms madness and psychotic, which might lead to wrongful diagnosis such as psychopaths. In the American culture, stigma toward people with these traits include that they are violent and sadistic people, which is a lasting legacy of this movie. In fact, when I searched up schizophrenia, many photos of people who are seemingly violent and evil popped up. Some symptoms of Patrick Bateman include displaying socially irresponsible behavior, for example, his killings, and he's completely devoid of empathy and focuses only on himself, which is shown in him killing his friends only because his better business card design, as well as his his focus on himself during the sex scenes. He has nice biceps though. He goes through hallucinations during the film, and he has a set of extremely specific routines in the morning and before killing. Um, Some potential misdiagnosis sources include for example, for narcissism, the evidence is relatively weak, as one of the symptoms is the constant need for admiration, but Bateman seems content without admiration from others and is more or less self-absorbed in his fantasies and emotions. Similarly, with OCD, Bateman's routine doesn't hinder his social performance despite its rigidity, and I'm sure those who witness his routine don't have the capacity to care anyway. As for our treatment plan for a patient with symptoms as severe as Bateman, I would highly recommend hospitalization under high surveillance. Even if all of his actions were merely hallucinations, his future actions are uncertain, and he poses a serious threat to those around him, given that he has hallucinated about killing them. However, this treatment will be deemed dehumanizing and will likely be criticized by humanitarians. At the same time, considering his connections, the treatment plan will likely be stopped by his friends and family. And moreover, he's very well off, and I won't promise that a juicy bribe won't let me set him free. And lastly, during the 1980s, there was a decline in the number of mental health institutions, further increasing difficulty of the plan. And here are some broader perspectives. Portrayal accuracy. The disorders were decently accurately portrayed according to the definitions. However, some of the symptoms are not shown during the movie despite being hinted at. Furthermore, the movie displays an extremified version of the disorders, which decreases its accuracy. The movie's portrayal of these disorders may guide audience to falsely establish connection between these disorders and violence, as well as correlating these symptoms with each other as concurring ones despite knowledge of that being false, and the audience being us. Thank you. Here are my sources.